Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are just finishing up our 3-link in our new Charlie WJ build series. Ran into a little bit of an issue we kind of foresaw. 6.5-inch lift. This axle is fully drooped out right now, just barely being held up with the stands, but this steering ain't going to cut it. It's going to be at 2 wicket of angles at that lift height. Really anything over about a 4-inch lift, factory steering is not going to cut it. So we're going to do an install video on the WJ 1-ton over the knuckle kit. A couple cool features about that kit. You can run it over the knuckle or under the knuckle with all the same parts. You don't got to buy a separate kit. So we're going to get this drag link out of there. We'll go over to our table, show you the parts that come in the kit, and then we'll get to the install. So we got our OE steering all disassembled. We got our drag link that was still hanging up there off. Tie rod ends were junk. This is a much thinner sidewall tubing. As you can tell here, I don't know the thickness of it, but we're going to 1.5-inch tubing. I believe it's 3/8 wall. Same with the tie rod. So if you're running this as an over the knuckle, you can run it as over the knuckle or under the knuckle with all the hardware that comes with it. If you run over the knuckle, you have to use the track bar drop. If you're running under the knuckle, you do not need to use that piece. So we're going to probably work on our track bar first because we are going to run this over the knuckle. So we're going to have to take our freshly installed track bar out, but that's okay. So we're going to get that installed first. We'll show you how to do it. So glad we torqued all that down first. So this is our track bar drop bracket. We'll have to drill out these 2 holes. We're going to put our factory bracket there. Hardware kit number 80. That can always change, so check your instructions. Somebody needs some motor mounts.
It's a WJ thing.
This thing needs a tranny mount really bad too, but he'd rather have steering. So don't crank this bolt like tight, but you want it definitely snug so that there's no in and out play in it. I had it loose, and while this was up there, I had probably a 1/2 inch of sway. So once you got that snug, tuck that up. We'll get Sharpie, make some marks, start fighting the drilling process. Once we got our 2 holes, we'll get that bolted in, and then we'll have to readjust our track bar so it's going to have a different measurement to center the axle into our new track bar mount. Pro tip, use a really small drill bit that's shorter because then you got some room between the oil pan. Pilot them through the outside, and then we can drill everything from the outside in. So we're putting our bolts from the outside in so we're not close to our spring. Gives it a nice finished look. The good thing is the WJ, we didn't have to oil those at all. We were cutting them because of all the oil leaks under this thing. So we got our track bar drop bracket in, cranked that one as tight as we can get her. We got these one tight. It's nice because we're now holding our uniframe nice and snug up front. We're dropping our track bar about 3 inches on this side, so we're going to have to undo our clamps, twist our double adjuster in to shrink that track bar, get that in. This thing's not at right height, so we'll have to do some finagling around with that. So we'll get our track bar back in, and then we'll start working on our drag link. So now we're on to a crucial part for our over the knuckle. If you're running this kit under the knuckle, you don't have to do this. If you're doing over the knuckle, you'll have to purchase a reamer either on our website or somewhere local, but it's a 7-degree ream. So we're going to go really slow, and we're going to inch up on it. So we're going to do a couple turns, check it, and rinse and repeat. So these are tapered underneath. So what we're going to be doing, and this one's already been done, but with that in there, you want, before you torque it, you want that hole to be almost flush with the bottom of the castle nut. So when you torque it down, you want as much engagement in that castle nut as possible. So we're going to start reaming this top one here, and we're going to show you how we inch up to it. So as you can see under the boot here, there's still quite a bit left. We're snug and we're not even close to our nut or our cotter pin hole. So, but with it being a tapered, you take off less than you think you will and then check it again. If you over ream them, you might need new knuckles. So take this real slow and easy. I'd say that's about money, because when we go to torque this thing down, it's going to suck it down a little bit. We'll be able to get our cotter pin in there. If you go to torque it and you can't get the cotter pin in, take it out one more time, give it a couple more small drill outs. So we're going to tighten up the pinch bolt on the opposite side of our double adjuster to hold it at its vertical. So you should be able to let go and it should hold itself. So we don't want this hanging down while we're adjusting it. So as you can see on the driver's side, we got a double adjuster here, and we're going to have one up here at the pitman arm. So there's two different tie rods in your kit. There's an anti-flop and a standard tie rod. Try not to get them mixed up. Keep them with the bags with the part numbers in them. If you do mix them up, if you put them in a vise and you move the stud will go either in a straight line. You know, it might wobble a little to the left or right, but it should go in a fixed line. And then the others will go more in a circular motion. It's not going to be a perfect circle. Your circular motion ones are going to be on the double adjuster side. Your inline anti-flops are going to be opposite your double adjuster, so they should be, best way, just put those at the passenger knuckle, double adjusters at the driver knuckle, and then it'll be good to go. We got our pinch bolt over here holding up our tie rod nice and straight. We're going to get our alignment plates on here, get our drag link on, and then we're going to do kind of a mock-up alignment just to get it somewhat close, and then we'll start adjusting stuff once we get everything on the ground. All right, so again, we're just using our pinch bolt to align where we want our drag link, and then we'll do our adjusting up on the driver's side. All right, so we got 70 and 7/16. 68 3/4. So we were towed way out. So we're going to come over to our double adjuster side here, and we're going to suck the tie rod in. So right at 69 9/16 gives us towed in a 1/16 money. So now that we have our toe where we want it, you want to flatten out, put this in a neutral position before you crank this down so that these have enough rotation back and forth. Do it on both ends, and then we're going to tighten up our pinch bolts and then move to our drag link. So we get a lot of questions on how much noise these are going to make. With these anti-flops on here, which are made and designed by Iron Rock, zinc coating, best you're going to get. That little bit of clicking is that anti-flop, that inline ball inside of there clicking. You're not going to hear this when driving. If you have a full Heim joint off-road system, they tend to make a little more noise, but that's because of the high misalignment. But this is going to be a super quiet kit, super beefy kit. Intern Charlie thinks he's going to launch this thing off some dunes. We'll see how it goes. But now we just got to get our steering wheel straight. Nice thing about this is if you go for a drive after installing this kit, you can come up here to your double adjuster and adjust that without having to take anything apart. Just loosen up your pinch bolt and adjust that. Have somebody sit in your steering or in your driver's seat and watch that steering wheel rotate, and you get it dead center. Once you're center, tighten up your pinch bolt. Good to go. You guys saw us using our alignment plates. We sell them on our website. They're super handy to have if you do any kind of adjustment in your steering. You know what your toe is. You don't have to take it to a shop. You can use them for caster. There's a little more setup to do that. We're not going to cover that today. But yeah, just got to get the drag link set up, done. Get our springs back in here for our 3-link, tighten up a couple things, and then we're good to go.
More turns. Yeah, that's good.
All right, so we were just adjusting our double adjuster here. It's not at perfect ride height, so we will most likely have to adjust this again after we go for a drive when we're all done with this. But if you've already done your lift and you're doing your steering later, go for a drive after installing it, get everything as close as you can as far as your toe. But as far as your steering wheel being off, that's not a huge deal. If it's clocked a few degrees, go for a drive. Pull it up flat ground as straight as you possibly can with your wheels dead straight. Have somebody sitting there, adjust this in or out, whichever way you got to go. Once you have it straight, tighten your pinch bolt back down, go for another drive, and then rinse and repeat if you have to. But one of the nicest things about our kits, not only strength, but the adjustability in them. You don't have to unhook a tie rod, spin a tie rod end a few times, put it back in to check your toe. You don't have to pull your drag link off to adjust your steering wheel. It can all be done while it's installed. Loosen up your pinch bolts, make your adjustment, tighten it back down. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, drop a comment, give me a call. We can finish up our 3-link now, kind of do a Carolina squat maybe drive with this thing. We'll see. And then once we're buttoned up in the front, then we're going to move on to the 4-link. So stay tuned, like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.